The early morning light crept through the high windows of Fort Monroe's main hangar, casting a golden haze over rows of humming machines and freshly polished floors. The rhythmic sound of a mop gliding over concrete echoed faintly. That mop belonged to Jack Mercer, a single father, a quiet man with years written across his weary eyes. He worked the night shift as a janitor, not because he loved it, but because it gave him time during the day to be with his daughter, Lily. Every morning, he finished just as the officers started arriving. The air would shift then, brisk, purposeful, filled with authority. Today, however, something different was happening. A convoy of dark SUVs rolled in through the open hangar doors. Soldiers straightened instantly. Word had spread fast. General Amelia Ross was visiting the base. The first female 4-star general in the division, known for her precision, composure, and unshakable strength. Jack kept mopping, his head down, careful not to draw attention. But he couldn't help noticing her when she stepped out of the vehicle. Tall, confident, eyes as cold as steel yet strangely human beneath the sharpness. She greeted the officers lined up, shaking hands, giving crisp nods. She moved like someone used to the weight of responsibility. When her gaze swept across the hangar, it landed on Jack briefly, just a glance, but it lingered a second too long. She looked away, continuing with her inspection. He shrugged it off, resuming his work, unaware of the storm quietly brewing beneath the surface of fate. Later that afternoon, as the sun dipped lower, the general returned from her meetings, walking through the now quiet hangar. She paused when she saw Jack cleaning near the command center. "You there?" she called, her tone commanding but not unkind. "How long have you been working here?" Jack looked up, startled. About 2 years, ma'am." She studied him. 2 years, and you're always here this early?" "Yes, ma'am. I like to finish before the day shift starts. Gives me more time with my daughter." Her expression softened almost imperceptibly. "A single father." He nodded. "Yes, ma'am. Her name's Lily. She's 6. Smart as a whip, talks my ear off." The general gave the faintest smile, then turned away, as though catching herself from showing too much humanity. "Good man," she said quietly, before continuing her walk. That night, Jack returned home to his small apartment just outside base housing. Lily was sitting cross-legged on the floor, coloring. She looked up and ran to him, wrapping her tiny arms around his legs. "Daddy, guess what?" She beamed. "My art teacher said my drawing was so good she's gonna hang it on the wall." Jack laughed, kneeling to her level. "That's amazing, sweetheart. Let me see." As she held up her picture, he noticed a familiar design drawn on her wrist in marker, a small, intricate hawk with spread wings. He frowned. "That's new. What's that?" "Oh," she grinned proudly. "It's a tattoo I saw on the lady's arm at the park last weekend. She said it means, never broken." "Isn't that cool?" Jack's hand froze midair. "What lady?" "She had short hair, like a soldier. She helped me when I fell off the swing. She was nice, Daddy. She said she used to know someone who loved hawks too." Jack smiled faintly, though his mind was spinning. "That's a pretty tattoo," he said softly. The next morning, back at the base, the general called for a maintenance check in the same hangar. Jack was mopping quietly in the corner again when her voice echoed across the space. She was speaking to a group of officers about discipline, courage, and sacrifice. He wasn't trying to listen, but her words cut through the air like they were meant for him. Courage isn't in medals or ranks. It's in getting up every day when life has knocked you down. It's in protecting what you love, no matter how hard it gets. Something about those words struck Jack deeply. When she dismissed the officers, he found himself saying quietly, "That's true, ma'am. Sometimes, protecting what you love means cleaning floors you never dirtied." The general stopped, turning to face him. Her eyes narrowed slightly, not out of anger, but curiosity. "What did you say?" Jack froze, realizing he had spoken out loud. "Sorry, ma'am, didn't mean to." "No," she interrupted, her voice steady. "Say it again." He swallowed. "Just meant, sometimes you do what you have to, not because it's easy, but because someone's depending on you." She stared at him for a long moment, and something flickered behind her eyes. Recognition, maybe, or a memory she'd buried. "You remind me of someone," she said finally. Jack offered a small smile. Maybe I just remind you of yourself. She gave a faint, almost amused snort. Careful, janitor. That's a bold statement to make to a general. Yes, ma'am. My mouth runs faster than my brain sometimes, he replied. That evening, as she was leaving, she paused near the hangar doors again. Jack was packing up his cleaning supplies. You said you have a daughter, she said suddenly. Yes, ma'am, Lily. What's she like? He smiled softly. Curious. Talks a lot. Draws even more. She's got this wild imagination. And she's brave. Braver than she knows. The general's expression softened, her composure cracking slightly. How old? 6. She hesitated before saying quietly, I had a sister. She died when I was overseas. Her daughter was about 6 then too. Her voice trailed off, caught between memory and regret. Jack's heart clenched, unsure what to say. I'm sorry, ma'am. Losing family, that never leaves you. The general nodded slowly. No, it doesn't. She turned to go, but Jack's next words made her stop cold. My daughter, he said carefully, has a drawing on her wrist. A tattoo of a hawk with open wings. Said she saw it on a woman who helped her at the park. Said it means, never broken. General Ross froze mid-step. Her breath hitched, eyes widening just slightly. For a brief second, the unshakable general looked, human. Vulnerable. She turned back slowly, her gaze locked on him. What did you just say? Jack repeated it quietly. She said the woman told her it means, never broken. My daughter drew it because she thought it was beautiful. The general's throat tightened. She reached up, almost unconsciously, rolling back the sleeve of her uniform to reveal the same tattoo, a hawk with open wings, ink faded slightly by time. Her voice trembled, just barely. That tattoo, only one person ever knew what it meant. Jack's brow furrowed. Who? My sister, she whispered. We got them together when we were young. She wanted us to have something to remind us that no matter what happens, we'd stay unbroken. Silence filled the hangar. Jack's heart thudded heavily. Your sister, he repeated, his voice quiet. The general nodded slowly, eyes glistening with a rare emotion. Your daughter's name, Lily, right? Yes, ma'am. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, my sister's daughter was named Lily too. The air between them thickened with realization. The world seemed to stop for both of them. Jack's voice broke slightly. You're telling me, she nodded, stepping closer, barely holding herself together. You're Lily, she's my niece. The silence stretched, heavy and surreal. The general, once untouchable, unbreakable, sank into a crouch, her military posture forgotten. I thought she was lost after my sister passed, she whispered. I tried to find her, but every lead went cold. Jack knelt too, his voice trembling. I adopted her after her mother died. She was my best friend. I promised I'd keep her daughter safe. The general's eyes filled with tears as she said softly, you kept that promise. For a long moment, neither spoke. Two people, bound by loss and fate, knelt amid the echo of silent engines and fading daylight. The general wiped her tears, composing herself. When can I meet her? She asked finally, her voice fragile but full of hope. Jack smiled faintly. Tomorrow, ma'am. She'll be waiting. For the first time in years, General Amelia Ross smiled. Not the cold, practiced smile of command, but one born of something real. And for the first time since she'd earned her stars, she felt whole again.